going over store parameters. So we click on this store parameters button here, and it brings open the store parameters menu, which would have all your locations down at the bottom. So you click the location you want to work with. The demographics tab is just your salon info. The location is just the store name. That's what it's going to show up as in Sunlync. And the other stuff you can fill out if you want to keep track of that in Sunlync. And we'll hit save. And next is point of sale options. You can click this little arrow here to expand it to more options. These options here will just about your point of sale options on what it's going to show at point of sale based on customer history. If you allow walk-ins or you combine packages together. Commission are options for your employee commissions, if they get commission on employee-to-employee sales, what products or if they get commission on products or services. Discounts are if your employees can give a discount on and what they can give a discount on, and what the max discount percentage and flat rate for your store are. So we'll make those changes and hit save. And when you hit save, you can update just the current store you're on, or you can update all stores by clicking that button. Refunds tab here is what your store allows refunds on, and what type of refund payment types you'll give back, and if there's a time limit to do refunds. This screen here is what you allow your tanners to do. If you allow resets on beds or reversals on beds, and for how much time has passed before it stops letting them do that. If when you do reverse a tan, where they get the money back, does it go to their account ledger, or do they get points back, or do they just get how they paid for it back? And if you void the tan only or the entire transactions. Down here is if you allow employee tanning. Employees may tan while clocked in for the first X amount of minutes. Some things about room availability, what it's going to show you at point of sale. Courtesy tans, if you allow courtesy tans, what your default courtesy tan will be, and if you limit your customers to the number of courtesy tans they can get. And down here is where you choose your timer type and you set your delay for your timer. And then once again you can hit save, update current store or all stores. Tax, this is where you put in your retail tax and your service tax if you have a service tax. And down here you put in your tan tax. The next one's receipts. If you have a receipt printer, if you always print a receipt, never print a receipt, or if it prompts you with a yes or no box if you want to print a receipt. And some more options on if you're going to print a receipt below that. The next tab here is customers. So this deals with inserting customers and customer options. If you default may earn points, so that the customer may earn points if you do a point system. If you have customer pictures, if you would do customer referrals where your customers get a credit to their account ledger or points if they refer another customer to come in. The next one is report options. You just put your opening hours and closing hours here. Security tab is failed login attempts. This will put an employee status on hold if they enter the incorrect password for their account 6 times right now. And you can do options where they must change their password if you want to do that. Some options on e-link. This will enable e-link. This will warn users if you send them an e-link with a high priority. And it'll check e-link for new messages every 15 minutes right now. Documents, if you use a document process where you have Sunlync store your documents, this is where you would enable it. And you have options to automatically print or display certain documents. These are your accessories such as cash drawer and barcode scanner. If you have those set up, you can fill out the default settings in here. Inventory, just a couple options here. If you can use corporate as a warehouse, or default item quantities to 0 when you receive a PO if you do that. The regulations tab, this is dealing with your hours between tans. Right now it's set up where they need to have 24 hours between tans. The tanning one, this is where you set up a minimum age, if you have a minimum age to go tanning there. We'll just say the minimum age is 18. Or if you have a parental consent age, you can fill out the age they can do with the parental consent here. And we will update. And waiver, if you have a tanning waiver, if you mark it required, every customer will have to have it signed. The next step here deals with biometrics. If you do fingerprint scanning in your salon, this is where you would enable it, tell it what driver version you're using, and what you use it for. Do you use it for customers, all customers, every tan, or employees when they clock in and out, or for employee security, or any mixture of the both, just depending on what you check here. Down here is gift cards, if they're allowed to retain a balance, or do you give change, and if gift cards expire. Offline promotions, just if they can do a promotion, if they need to use offline utility. EFT options, just if you restrict EFT membership changes to the store that they bought the membership at, this means. Or if you cannot change billing info unless they go to the store that they bought the membership at. Credit card processing, this is where you tell it how you're going to be processing credit cards at point of sale, who you're going to use to process the credit cards, and what you want it to do right here. You fill this out. Points and credit settings. I mentioned points a bunch of times in the past. This is where you allow points to be used to purchase whatever you have checked here. Store credit. If you allow your employees to give out store credit or just store credit at your store in general. And what the maximum credit each customer can get. Employee settings here. Some options about payroll. Round the card to the nearest 15 minutes is checked. Payroll period, you have options weekly, every 2 weeks, or bi-monthly. And what day of the week it's going to end on. Account ledger options is basically when someone has a negative balance on their account due to being rejected for an EFT batch or other reasons. You can check this, and then they won't be allowed to tan if they have a negative balance, or they're not going to be allowed to buy anything if they have a negative balance. Allow override will let you override that to tan them if they do have that negative balance at point of sale. This will take their EFT membership off hold when they pay it off at point of sale if they owed you any money for that EFT membership. And this one will only let them pay off the membership if they were on hold at the store they bought it at. Appointments, this is where you check if you're going to use the Sunlync appointment book. The length of your appointments is the length that the appointment book is going to be broken down into. Start time is just your opening time or the time you start taking appointments. Single booking per time slot means that you only have one appointment slot basically at your salon for any given time. Multiple booking per time slot is you can have an appointment for each bed, so you could have as many appointments as you have beds in the salon. The last thing to go over in this store parameters options here are these miscellaneous options. The order is just the order of your stores are going to show up in. You can edit it and adjust the order if you want. Store update list is what stores you're going to update when you hit the save button. You have the choice to update just the store you're on, just the stores that are in this update list, or all stores when you save an option. And stores for offline utility download are what stores are going to be downloaded for offline utility. So we'll choose that we want pretty much all the stores downloaded in our case, so we'll just switch those over. And now offline utility will download this store's data when it does offline. So if I do need to use offline, it should have all the data I'll need in it. Okay, that should cover this store parameters option. Thanks for joining me.